What episode is this?
22.
Nah,
23.
Did you really upload all those episodes?
No, he's missing one.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, with all that we did in like 2 days, we might as well.
Oh yeah, I am
missing one.
So good. It's
the one
good.
that we did here after the mansion.
It's good. You don't want to saturate.
Yeah.
So anyhow, this is episode 20. What? 23? This is episode 23.
Like technically?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. When you put this out, it's gonna be episode 23.
It's gonna be episode 23.
What matters?
What matters?
Fire OG is what we're smoking on.
What was the last episode?
I called it. I haven't named it last episode.
Mansion.
All right.
Post Mansion. I called it.
You called it Mansion. Oh, you haven't named the newest one. The most recent one.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter, bro.
This is episode 23. Fire OG, right?
Fire OG. Yeah.
All right.
And I got
Chris has some
Texas
vodka. Shout out to Tito's. And
mixed with Coca-Cola from Mexico.
We have
Cindy Lou is her nickname.
Hitting the bong right now.
Bong hitting NASA.
Alright.
If you ever get a new bong, would you name it SpaceX? I guess if
it goes with it.
Yeah.
I call it NASA because I like how it hit. You know that like all the perks when it hits like shh, it'll take off.
Yeah.
You know. All right. So Chris, you said you got stuff on your mind.
Yeah. All right. So I had a couple. I'm currently reading a book that you recommended and let me borrow called Villa.
Shout out to me.
Incognito by Tom Robbins.
Villa Incognito by Tom Robbins. And yes, Tom Robbins is one of my all-time favorite authors.
So he has other books. You have other books of his?
Oh yes, I have his collection. I have his collection. And trust me, if you love that one, you're gonna love all.
Well, I'm almost done. I'm not done with it quite, but there's a lot of shit. All right. So besides like the main story, right? There's like these little things that I'll learn or I'll find interesting. Like for instance, there's a character who's a Buddhist teacher, and you end up finding out he's like helping smuggle. I don't know what he's doing, smuggling drugs or some shit. But he's in one part of the book, which I would like to read, but then I think I'd be reading too much from the book. It's like a page where he's describing what the soul is, and then he describes the difference between the soul and the spirit, and he compares the soul to like a train, and
train like choo choo.
Yeah, you want me to read a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I remember it was on 102. No, not 102. 97. And then, all right, well, I'm not sure where that is. But I'm going to keep going. So they also talk about, on 102, he talks about how he gets woke and shit like in college, right? The main character during this part 2 or 3 that I'm in.
Yeah.
Dickie, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And he learned about the triple aspects of the mother goddess in universal art forms. And I don't know what that necessarily means. I think I have but I'm going to look into that like on a separate, because this sounds amazing.
So say that one more time. The 3 aspects. What?
The triple aspects of the mother goddess in universal art forms.
The creator, the nurturer, and the destroyer. Yeah.
Creator, the nurturer, and the destroyer.
Basically, woman in all her most powerful forms. You know, as a creator, she gives birth. You know, life goes through the woman. As a nurturer, she nurtures life and helps it grow and plants it. And as a destroyer, in her rage, she hey, the saying, hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's better to keep a strong queen on your side.
Yeah.
Not against.
Yeah.
All right. So something else. Let's see. So he starts listing all this stuff that us as woke people, and some things that I just recently discovered. Like this is from the book. He said he found out the Civil War is not fought over slavery. He found out the truth about Columbus being an asshole. He learned about Nikola Tesla and how Thomas Edison stole the shit. He learned that Jesus was not a Christian. All these things we know, and a lot of woke people know, and a lot of educated people know. A lot of people don't know. And then on 104, he mentions the world of animal ancestors, which is where Tanukis comes from in the beginning of the book. And I want to research to see if there's anything more to that animal ancestors because animals are pretty dope.
I think it's sort of I like to think of it like everyone has their the spirit animal. What are you in animal form? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, your animal form can be a tanuki.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, bro. I used to think I was a monkey, but what if I was a tanuki? Because a tanuki's similar in certain aspects.
Yeah, and then after reading the Jungle Book, I think you'd rather not be a monkey.
Yeah, they're cool, but they're just not.
How's that about it? Did you finish the Jungle Book?
Nah, I still haven't finished it. I'm gonna finish this one first.
All right.
And then so let's see what else. It said. So there's this girl that he falls in love with, right? The girl who woke him up to everything. And as he is waking up, he's also. Well, she tells him before she leaves him. She says, "If your heart and your brain aren't connected, they're not working together in harmony. You're hopping through life on one leg."
Say that one more time.
So she told him, because he was just spitting facts and shit.
Say that one more time.
Alright, so if your heart and your brain are not connected, if they're not working together in harmony, then you're hopping through life on one leg. You're doing a disservice to yourself.
See.
And so he reflects on that when he joins the military for Vietnam. Because he's heartbroken and he's like, you know what, fuck it, maybe I need to do something. And he was set on going to Vietnam. And this is kind of like I haven't finished it yet, so of course when I do finish, we'll be talking about it on the iPod. Then he also talked about there was something to mention of the word Maya, and I don't know what language it was in, but Maya means the illusionary nature of the material world. So I wonder if that has any connection with the Mayans and the fact that they had some kind of astrological intelligence to make a calendar so precise.
I mean, many calendars.
Several calendars?
Many calendars.
I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just know about like one or two.
Yeah, they a lot of calendars.
Interesting. So, and then let's see. It goes on. I put synchronicity. Oh, Laos. So I didn't know much about Laos, right? On the Friday podcast number 11, I get really stoned because I'm supposed to fire OG. I smoke two and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing purple. There's a purple peace sign behind me. I grab the globe. My bad. You want to hit this J-ski before you go?
In a bit. Yeah, well, I still gotta finish.
For sure. And so I grabbed the globe and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at all the purple places, right? So there was Japan. You know, it's just random color, right? But I was like, and I'll spit a little thing about Japan, talk about the blacks, like just whatever I know, samurais and shit. One of the places was Laos, and I didn't know anything about it. Well, apparently Laos was pretty important in the Vietnam War. So I read that in the book after I talked about it, and I felt like that was a synchronicity or something. Let's see, what else I got? The way he described, on 125, he describes the Declaration. Somebody, I'm not sure if it's him, but they describe the Declaration of Independence as habitual discontent because of the fact that they say that they're forever in the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
So never realizing that happiness is there already. You can have it. You don't have to keep pursuing it. And so that's a forever habitual discontent that is instilled in our, which is it's a dope contract, whatever the fuck it is, right? But it's kind of like subliminally installed in us, maybe. It's discontent.
It's kind of like how someone would say, like, I don't think I'm good enough yet. Or, what is good enough, right? Every time you level up, you keep saying to yourself, well, I have to get better. I'm not good. Okay, if good enough is something that's never going to end, and it's not really a goal, is it?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're putting these standards on yourself, and the reality of it is that, like, you're holding yourself down, holding yourself back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, when am I good enough? It's like, you are good enough already. You seem to realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are we are good enough for the current situation and time period. Like that's where you're supposed to be. And if you're thinking that you're not good enough, well, maybe there's a couple things you can improve on.
So you think setting that bar, it just depletes our own self when you do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say, oh, well, you shouldn't have any goal to strive for anything. Nah, man, strive to learn, strive to you know, to discover new shit, to learn new things, and be okay with the fact that hey, you might suck at it at first, but that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
you need to give yourself a pat on the back for doing, for living. You know what I'm saying?
Trying.
You know, yeah. At the end of the day, it's not about how good how good I was. It's how in the moment were you? Were you appreciative of every motherfucking second that you got a breath? You know, on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Did you appreciate it? And if you did, and all you did all day was eat shit, you know what? You still came out a winner, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Still alive. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure, man. When you said breathing, so I've been seeing stuff about like we don't breathe right, like we're not breathing the way we're supposed to.
I heard about that too.
Do you know anything about like how we should be breathing? Is there a simplified way to?
There's a guy out there named Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Wim Hof.
Mm.
He taught me how to do some breathing. Like in the wintertime, it gets cold, right? Sometimes you just can't warm up no matter what. There's a breathing technique he has to warm yourself up to immediately raise your body temperature. This guy, once again, an individual named Wim Hof, he can sit in the snow in his underwear and do these breathing techniques and melt the snow around him. You know
Holy
what I'm
shit.
saying? Yeah. And you can look up on YouTube his breathing
Wim Hof,
techniques.
WIMOF.
HOF.
Wim Hof.
Wim WIM Hof.
HOF.
HOF. Yeah. You can on YouTube you can look at the breathing exercises on YouTube.
So I want to do that. Also, manifestation. Wim Hof. Oh, WIM is his first name, last name HOF. He's a Dutch athlete. And what was I saying?
Breathing.
Pretty sure something.
Breathing.
Breathing. Yeah. Something else about breathing. Let's see what else. So that was synchronicity. Whatever. I wrote me and Romo should go half on a bottle of whiskey. I texted him like right after I wrote that. Habitual Laos Vietnam border 1973. So yeah, there was like a bombing in Laos Vietnam. I kind of want to go into the Vietnam War. That's what this book. That's one of the things I want to like. Now I want to read like 4 books because of this book. I still want to finish the first one before I start another one.
There was a Netflix series that went in depth of the whole Vietnam War. They give you a good starting.
Like a documentary?
Documentary.
PBS? KERA or not?
I can't remember which one it was.
I watched, what was it? Oliver Stone's Secret History of the United States or some shit on Netflix. That was alright.
Actually, I have a memoir that somebody wrote. He was a soldier that served in Vietnam. He didn't want to go, but he had to go anyway.
He was drafted.
Yeah. His name was Tim O'Brien. He wrote a book called If I Die in a Combat Zone, Boxing Up and Shit Me On. The backstory of the whole title was a song that they used to sing on patrol when they used to have to go from city to city.
Sound like a song.
It was. They used to sing it all the time, going up and down the trail.
And those men that served in Vietnam, their grandchildren apparently are still being affected by Agent Orange and shit.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, boy. Oh, and then I have this kind of like a quote on books, or you can pass it to Cindy Lou. So on books, sometimes I feel like I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget. Sometimes I feel like not reading for a couple of days, but then God or the universe to show me exactly what I needed to know when I needed to know from the book. I was a quarter of a way done and set it down for a week. When I picked it back up, it was perfect timing. Because I started reading Synchronicity.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think for people who get discouraged, like myself, on reading books and not finishing, it's okay to put it down a couple of days. I think and do some shit in your life, and then when you feel like, for me, like, and this kind of personal, but I just quit one addiction, so I'm trying to fill it in with the reading addiction. So at night, like last night, my habitual instinct was to like turn on some hub, some P hub, but instead, I flipped open the book and I started reading shit that I was like, oh, I just talked about this on the podcast. Oh, this this some goddess stuff and shit. It was interesting. I've been talking about a goddess and goddess female. And
So like what?
what do you mean?
What guys?
The creator goddess. Oh, but then they mentioned something about Father Sky and Mother Earth.
Yeah. And then all our relatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with their children, I guess, right?
Yeah. All our relatives. That includes the birds, the bees, all the plants,
Trees.
all the people. They're all our relatives. Everyone around our relatives, you know what I'm saying? Above ground and underground. Shout out to Hollow Earth.
What about Hollow Earth?
Shout out to Hollow Earth.
Do you know anything about it? Like,
I don't know anything. I've read stuff about it. You know what I'm saying?
what have you read about it?
I've read that it exists. I've read that it's there.
We haven't talked about it on the podcast. We talked about the triangle.
Not Hollow Earth. You mean the Bermuda Triangle? Oh yeah, when I put it out.
Yeah. But we didn't say it. I thought that was maybe an entrance. So where would the entrances be?
There's a shitload. It's like you talk about the underground. Where do you think those caves go? Where do you think those caves go? Connect even more to. They connect to inner Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's believable to me that the Earth is hollow and that there's like, I guess to us it'd be considered underground. And I think that there's a whole nother civilization of human beings that live out there.
I mean, like underground kings, like there's Pimp C's down there. There's like mole people that have rap songs and shit.
But not them, like moles. They're like us. They're probably taller than us and everything.
You know the video game talking about this. Like an underwater city.
No, he's talking about Bioshock.
But there's also alright, so I love Ninja Turtles.
Go ahead, this.
Yeah, one of the animated series began in 2002, I think.
No, por eso que
And it was 4Kids network or 4Kids TV or something. It was pretty dark.
Yeah, I remember watching it as a kid.
So recently, like, you can watch all them hosts on YouTube, or at least you could. I was watching them all on YouTube, and there's episodes where they go underground, and there's underground people who they don't need light, because there's like this kind of stone that gives off the energy that they need to survive. And they just not. I guess their DNA is a little different, but it goes in that on the Ninja Turtle on this one of the older series.
This Ninja Turtle you talking about?
Yeah.
I thought you talking about the documentary. I'm like, well,
No, the 2002 series. It was made pretty serious, like in the vein of the Batman cartoon that was pretty dark and serious.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond was around at the same time, so it was like.
I mean, there were a lot of cartoons around this, like from the time of 1999 to probably like maybe 2003, 04.
Some good ass cartoons.
Yeah, dark ass cartoons.
They were dark as fuck, bro. They were probably getting us ready for what's happening, and maybe it did help us, But
I mean, it's made me believe a lot of this whole shit was real. I remember the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and I remember Courage the Cowardly Dog, Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond was fire, yeah. Cole, have y'all seen that current Netflix show, Sabrina, Teenage Witch? Will they go into some shit? Have you seen it?
That's like a satanic show.
Yeah, they go into what really happens. Alright, so there's this scene, right, that how in the Bible, and I'm not saying that this is because of this, but I'm just saying coincidentally. In the Bible, there's a part where God asked somebody to sacrifice his son.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nah, I just wanted to see if you would do it.
Yeah.
And Sabrina, the devil, keeps trying to get her to do something for him. Eventually, she keeps like saying, nah, fuck that. Like, it was just little shit at first, like steal something. Or do that. She kept saying, nah, fuck you, I'm not going to do that shit for you or anything. Eventually, he gets her to, but her life keeps getting worse and worse. So eventually she's gonna burn down her school. Right before she does it, Satan says, "Nah, you don't have to do it. I just want to see you do it." So thinking about how the Vatican, the Catholic Church, has infiltrated. I mean, like the Bible, everything, right? So I think there's a lot of good in the Bible, but there's a lot of shit that's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Well, remember the Bible. The Bible was written by some legit German scholars. It wasn't written by anyone holy.
If y'all can't hear Vino, he said that the Bible was written by German scholars. Nobody holy. We're not written by holy motherfuckers.
You know, like for example, people talk about Paul. You know, Paul invented Christianity, and it was one of the worst things ever. He invented it to sort of take away power from women, and he basically. I'm gonna compare. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. But what he did is he took with the message that the man we know as Jesus. You know, he took his message, twisted it into his own little form, and created Christianity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like in the Villa Incognito.
Because Paul, one thing that in the Bible, you'll see that he does not respect women at all. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna say you a man of God if you don't respect his creation? You know what I mean? Equally. You know what I mean?
Right, and he made all of us in his or hers image.
Hey, can you plug this in over there in the white thing, somebody?
And I think I got you, bro.
A little white thing.
And I think that women are so suppressed in society because they have these powers that, when used properly, and men, it's just like chess. Like a king becomes even better if you have like a badass queen.
Yeah.
And I think this society emphasizes the single life. And I was single. I mean, I'm still single, but I've been out. You know, I'm not gonna get into all that shit. It's the vodka hitting.
Shout out to Tito.
Titos from Texas. What city is it from? You know?
I thought you said it. Austin, huh?
Texas.
Yeah, shout out to Austin. That's where I get my energy drinks. Austin, Texas. I mean, that's where they make them.
So do you think the Inquisition could have been something different? Every time they wanted to do a conquest or reconquest or Inquisition to another religion? I think it would have been something else like it's made it different. Like
we talking to nah,
talking, you know, like the Crusade. You think that they made the people believe it was one thing, but it was just
false flag type shit. Man, I started telling my mom about crisis actors. I started telling her about false flag events. I was just telling her more recent shit, current shit that our government has done recently, years prior. I mean, what? But yeah, I mean, it's a tactic that's been used forever. Like, I think Hitler used it. He burned down something and said something, and then somebody else in history, I don't know. But it's a tactic they use. All right, so this Tito's is gluten free, and apparently it's handmade, distilled 6 times. I don't know what that means.
I guess interesting. Look at it, Roman. What does distill mean? What does it mean to distill?
I'm gonna keep reading while he does that. It is micro. I'm not reading everything, just fragments. It is micro distilled in an old-fashioned pot still. Just like fine single malt scotches and high-end French cognac. Whew, that was hard to read. This time-honored method of distillation requires thinking. Wait, did you find it? Hold on, the wood. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, the wood.
More skill and effort than modern column stills, but it's well worth it. Chris is cool. The vodka is cleansed by phenols, esters, I don't know what it is, organic acids.
You're reading the bottle right now. Okay.
Yeah. Only the heart of the run, the nectar is taken, even behind residual higher and lower alcohol. Look, I have trauma.
Trauma?
With vodka.
With vodka?
But like Smirnoff vodka, Grey Goose vodka. This right here.
That pussy ass vodka.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
This is decent vodka.
From what I read, It's to get more of a concentrate.
Oye, bájalo poquito, señorito. Is it getting concentrated like
Yeah, they get more of a concentrate of the alcohol to make it more pure.
like a pen?
Is that what it said?
Pretty much. I mean, that's how I got the definition of it. I mean, that's what I got.
And it also says that micro distills. So it's like micro.
Like, what does it mean to distill alcohol?
80 proof. Distilled from 100% corn. Corn. And it comes with a little hoodie. It's fucking little badass hoodie.
Yeah, it's like an ugly sweater.
Yeah, it's like Christmas edition.
Yeah. That's fucking gangster. You got this as a gift or something?
Yeah.
And he's sharing it with us. This is some gangster shit, y'all. And I'm just sipping a little, just like a shot, next to some Coke. About to munch on some pizza.
Oh, yeah, man.
25.
45?
25.
25. I could do like another 5 minutes. Make
Well,
it solid 30.
What you want to talk about?
You got any more, Chris?
Y'all want to talk about Wayfair or not?
Nah.
Still too fresh, right?
Yeah.
The Soul. Oh, it was on
You got a lot
79.
of the mainstream media trying to debunk it right now.
Bro, they can debunk these nuts.
I don't know how you debunk that.
Amazon debunked these nuts. Okay, I remember what page. It was 79. About the soul. And we'll end off with this. Alright, so... My bad. First take that. Man, where is this? 78. There you go. 78, 79. Have y'all ever, while I look for this, have y'all ever had sharts recently?
What's that mean? Excuse me?
When you shit and fart at the same time?
That's
Or is
kind of a
your,
personal question.
is it, bro? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Alright, here, I found it. About the...
Alright, let's do it.
You want this back? Boom! It's a tennis ball. Alright, so it says, to visualize the soul, think of it as this. Think of it as a kind of train. Yes, a long, lonesome freight train rumbling from generation to generation on an eternally rainy morning. Let me take a sip, y'all. I got caught now. Its boxcars are loaded with sighs and laughter. Its hobos are angels. Its engineer, the queen of spades. And the queen of spades is wild. Woo, woo! Hear that epiphanic whistle blow? The audience giggled at the sound effects, which are the students. The train's destination is the Godhead, which I wanted to study as well because I've read that a couple times. But it stops at the Big Bang, at the orgasm, and at the hole in the fence that the red fox sneaks through down behind the barn. It's simultaneously a local and an express, but it doesn't transport weaponry, and it certainly ain't no milk run. Let's see. I may be waxing too fanciful, and I apologize. Let's look at it this way, friends. The soul is nothing more, probably, than the authentic vibration of the biosphere, registered and amplified within the human sensorium. Think of it as that somewhat lumpy cloud of indefinable energy that is generated when human emotion and human intelligence interface with the larger body of nature. It goes on to talk about how it differs from spirit. That's only a couple paragraphs. Y'all want me to read it?
About spirit?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam, about spirit.
Alright, so it says, how does the soul differ from spirit? You're probably asking yourself. Although he must have been reasonably sure nobody was. Well, he says, soul is darker of color, denser of volume, saltier of flavor, rougher of texture, and tends to be more maternalistic than paternalistic. Soul is connected to Mother Earth, just as spirit is connected to Father Sky. Of course, mothers and fathers are prone to copulation, however you say that.
Yeah.
Sex, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And in their commingled state, soul and spirit often can be difficult to distinguish the one from the other. Generally, if spirit is the fresh air vent and ambient lighting in the house of consciousness, if spirit is the electrical system that illuminates that house, then soul is the smoky fireplace, the fragrant oven, the dusty wine cellar, the strange creaks we hear in the floorboards late at night. It's a bit of a cliche to say it, but when you think of soul, you should think of things that are authentic and things that are deep. Almost done, guys. Anything superficial is not soulful. Anything artificial, imitative, or overly refined is not soulful. Wood has a stronger connection to soul than does plastic. Although, paradoxically, probably said that wrong, thanks to human interface, a punky wooden table or chair can sometimes exceed in soulfulness the soul that may be invoked by a living tree. Yeah, it goes on. But I just thought that was like fucking dope.
Yeah, deep.
Yeah. So that's episode 20 something, motherfuckers. 23, about to grub. Wait, did we hit 30?
Fire OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call this one.
Half an hour like a sitcom. Take a sit with your mom. Chess Tanuki. Vino Romo. One love.
Peace.
Hey.